Good Friday morning, everybody. I wanted to get a DCEU video out here because yesterday Variety dropped a bombshell news story. And I'm going to be going through this article and talking about what it means and talk about what this means for the future of the DCEU. Now, this blew up the internet, Twitter, everything over the last 20 hours. This did get released about less than a day ago. But I wanted to chime in here, and we're going to take a look at this article and talk about what this means. So here is the Variety article, and it says Warner Brothers Discovery exploring overhaul of DC Entertainment, which they are, and we knew that was going to happen. And it starts out and backs up something that I've talked about in the past. David Zaslav has said in the past that he understands the power behind the Trinity at DC Comics and how powerful Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are, and he wants to focus on those characters. There are public comments about that. And it says the new owners of all things Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are exploring an overhaul of DC Entertainment. Multiple sources close to the situation told Variety. Multiple sources. These could be anybody. A lot of this is speculation. A lot of this is not fact. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen until it happens. This is here to get people talking and get people interested. And they talk about how they wanted to find somebody basically in line with Kevin Feige over at Marvel. And they originally wanted to tap Emma Watts to come in and take over that position. And I've seen Emma Watts credited in many things in film in the past, but that she didn't want the job, and that Zaslav himself was less interested in finding, one creative guru, but more in line with finding somebody who has the business background to hold up the DC universe and keep it more coherent. You want to know how to keep it coherent? I'll talk about that here in a little bit. Now, they go on to talk about how they believe that there has been a lot of success behind films like Aquaman and Batman. And Aquaman was one of their most profitable films that has ever been made by DC. That movie made a ton of money. The Batman, I don't know if I would call that a critical success because it definitely did not make as much money as they wanted. And honestly, the movie has a lot of issues, and I've thought about doing a video about all the issues with the Batman. Now, I still enjoy the movie. It's a good movie, but it is nowhere near my favorite Batman film by any means or any stretch of the imagination, and is something that is often left field and is not in line with the stuff that they've been doing with DC. Now, the people we have to thank for that is Walter Hamada, Toby Emmerich, and the Wicked Witch who is gone. Okay, so we've got a lot of people who have messed this up and have done a good job at messing it up on purpose. If you want to make it coherent, go back to what you planned in the first place. Give us the films that were planned 8 years ago. They did not follow through with the plan. We have stories that are only partially told. And here's the thing. We don't even have a Superman sequel, and this is what it goes into. It says Discovery believes that several top-shelf characters such as Superman have been left to languish and need to be revitalized. Not recast, not rebooted, revitalized. Henry Cavill is still Superman, and I fully expect that they are going to be bringing him back to play Superman in the future. And you want to know what would get their stock to go up today? Is announce a Man of Steel sequel, and you would have your stock shoot up in price. Now, Walter Hamada, they talk about Walter Hamada possibly being a big, tent pole in all of this, but I would not believe that Hamada really has much of a role to play in this, and I'll talk about why. Walter Hamada simply is just a guy in the background, and they're waiting for his contract to run out. He messed up a lot of things. There is no question about that. He's had control since 2018. And he is not the way to go. The way to go is to give the fans what they're asking for. And David Zaslav knows what the fans want. He said he is going to be listening to the fans. And his first priority is to mend the relationships with the studios, the filmmakers, and himself. And everybody has to report directly to him. And he did come out and say Batman vs. Superman, and I do hope he was talking about the Ultimate Edition, is a masterpiece. And so was Zack Snyder's Justice League. This thing was a global phenomenon. You have Warner Brothers executives in other countries even talking about that. It sold like crazy on video here in the United States. There were places you could not find it. It was hard for me to even find a 4K copy of the movie. I bought one in stores because I had a Steelbook on order, but I didn't know if I was ever going to get the Steelbook, and I actually did. And, with all the subscriptions for HBO Max. Now, let's talk about the interesting thing here. This story has caused just chaos across the internet. And we had my favorite person did a video about this, and the video is disgusting. You had Grace Randolph come out, and she's putting the fans down again, and she's talking about how the vote for the Oscar moment was manipulated. It was not manipulated, okay? You had the fans vote it. Anybody could vote. Anybody from any fandom could vote for any one of those scenes. Nobody was locked out. Nobody was held behind. There was no conspiracy behind this. It was 100% fair, and the majority of the people voted for that Flash scene. You can't get around that. She wants to manipulate the numbers and say things are not what they seem to be. I think Warner Brothers Discovery understands the power of what has gone on over the last couple of years. And the best way they could capitalize on this, without question, the best way they could capitalize on this today is to announce Man of Steel 2, release the Ayer cut, and also announce Zack Snyder's Justice League 2. If you do those three things, you're back on track. They don't have to go through some focus group. They don't have to go through some big investigation and spend all kinds of money trying to figure out what they should be doing financially and practically. That's what you need to do. You fix that. You announce Man of Steel 2 today. That goes a long way in restoring the faith in what has happened, what is going on behind the scenes, and get people excited for the future. But every day that goes by where we don't get an announcement or something isn't happening or moving, you lose a little bit of faith. And everything rides on what is happening with this merger at this stage. This is it. This is our last chance to get the universe we want. If it doesn't happen now, they will destroy the DC brand. There is no question about it. This is the make or break moment for Warner Brothers Discovery, and I hope they're paying attention to what the fans have to say. I'm very much a fan of DC Comics. I'm not a Snyder bot, okay? But I do want to see his vision finished. I want to see Justice League 2 and 3. Once that's done, by all means, move on in other directions. I don't care, but let him finish his freaking story. We have never seen something as epic as what we got with Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's nothing on the Marvel side that is as epic in scope of what they were doing with Zack Snyder's Justice League. He was not going to be a copy of Marvel, and that was never his plan. And Warner Brothers didn't like that. But he has the power to get people to go see it. And I just hope that there's a Zack Snyder's Justice League theatrical release at some point. He's been teasing that he's getting the 35mm prints together. For what purpose? I have no idea. But he is teasing that on social media. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes right now. But I've said in the past, David Zaslav says he understands the power of those three characters. And I don't think he's going to walk away from that. If anything, you give us more of those characters. And they do talk about wanting to make everything more cohesive amongst the TV shows, the movies, and everything. And there's easy ways to make that happen. And they've already started that. They did announce that they're going to have the Colin Farrell Penguin show on HBO Max, which is fine. Build a universe around the Batman franchise, which they said will never be connected to the overall DCEU, and that's fine. You've got fans in that category. Cater to those fans. Also cater to the fans for the stuff you've already created and finish the stories that already have to be told and should be all finished up. We haven't even seen any glimpse of Green Lantern since Ryan Reynolds was Hal Jordan, freaking 10 years ago or whatever it was, 12 years ago. And we should have had that Green Lantern Corps movie by now. But, that's Warner Brothers for you. They sabotage everything. And keeping things cohesive does not mean you come in and change everything that the filmmakers are doing. They did it with Zack Snyder with Batman vs. Superman. That's where it began. They did it with David Ayer after that. And then they freaking totally butchered Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that's not what anybody wanted. We wanted to see the story that was already happening and what they were working towards. And they need to finish that. It's that simple. Bring back Henry Cavill. Get Ben Affleck back as Batman. These things will go a long way to restoring the faith in the DC brand in movies. Not for myself, not just for myself, but for everybody who has been paying attention and been on this ride for the last 10 years. All right, if you guys like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will be doing more videos as more information comes out. I do appreciate it and I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend.